What it is, guys, it's your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at y'all with, well, more Danmachi. And today we're going to be talking about Heroic Trial. Now, things will be a little bit different. I did record this ahead of time because, as you guys know, my phone has been on the fritz. So we're going to be kind of talking about this kind of post-mortem. There is kind of one caveat towards the end that I will discuss regarding this. But let's go ahead and talk about the actual team that I used so we can S-clear the EX level. Okay? It's almost like I pressed it. That was kind of awesome. Couldn't have timed that better. So this is the team I'm using here. We'll give this a little chat here. Obviously, you can see that I am using the OG Haruhime. Mostly, honestly, I'm kind of just using her for her heals and her debuff. Obviously, both are really important on this one. Krazo, obviously, damage producer, crazy damage producer. Line, now she is going to become a little bit of a liability because mine is not MLB, but she has a really good hit. She can remove buffs, though that's not really necessary here. The biggest thing she's doing is she's increasing our SA bar. Okay? Of course, Galamus is here. I can actually remember his name this time. Galamus is pretty much here to kind of reduce the amount of damage our units are taking, which is really critical. And you'll notice that he has no dupes in him, and he kind of has the Hestia that does health restore. The reason that both of them are here, that health restore is going to be really imperative when it comes to actually passing this. As far as Galamus goes, that damage deficit coming into us is going to be really important. Elmina is here as well. You'll notice she has the double damage reduction Chloe on her. That's just going to basically stop us from taking any damage once the units have really gotten into their groove. Plus, she increases the damage output for all of our units that do single attack damage, which is mostly Argonaut and Krazo. Not the optimal situation for this one, I will say, but it actually works really well. Considering most of their attacks are single target attacks, it helps out a lot. And then finally, we have Argonaut here on the end, and of course we have the the Artemis assist on him. If you're not aware why, that's basically because she gives a 20% increase to his damage and 15% across the board. So just a really well-rounded team. They always do a fantastic job. Their stats are through the damn roof. But let's jump in and talk about this, okay? Now, turn 1 is going to be all about debuffing. 100% debuffing. You are going hard on the debuffs on this turn, mostly because Bell will remove a lot of your buffs. Bell and Tsubaki will both remove a ton of your buffs. So that's another reason that bringing Argonaut in later is beneficial. In fact, if my recollection serves, I don't even think I actually buffed Argonaut at all. I think I just brought him in and did his damage, if recollection serves. Not the preferential situation, but definitely still good. Now, once again, here we are going to basically be using Haruhime's big buff/debuff replication. We're now going to be doing damage with Krazo. Same with Line. And then, of course, with Elmina, we're going to be doing that damage buff that she's got. Okay? So here we go. All right. Now, finally, Argonaut is here, and I don't think I actually did buff him, mostly because it's kind of pointless. But I'll show you here at the end. There is a method to the madness here. Turn 4, Argonaut Bell is going to remove all the strength buffs. But since there's not that many strength buffs to go around, in fact, none at this point. Okay, no, I did do a strength buff. You see it was removed. So, you watch that happen right there. It is kind of pointless to buff him, honestly. And he does enough damage without it, because the assist is still going to give him that 20%, so it's still worthwhile, and he's not going to be able to remove that. Okay? So, let's keep going. Now, basically from this turn on, we're almost on autopilot until we get our SA where we want it. You'll notice all we're doing right now is just getting the SA gauge up there and just doing damage and replicating damage. On turn 5, I'm going to switch from Argonaut over to Tsubaki, I believe, if recollection serves correctly. Oh, no, I'm back on Argonaut. Basically, what you want to do is you want to balance. I ran it a couple hours ago. I can't remember what I did. You want to balance out the damage that you're doing. You don't want to focus on one person, you want to reduce all that. Now, the one thing I do want to mention here is fire units are at a severe disadvantage to them, but we were able to take that down to only 15% instead of, I think, the full 40%. So that is good news. In fact, I'll pause this here for a moment because it's probably going to go away. Physical units are the best. Magic units, they're only good there because of the debuffs we have on them. Physical units are what you absolutely want to use. But like I said, fire is like the worst case scenario. Even though we're mostly using fire, you'll notice they're still crazy OP. They're still just hitting like absolute trucks. So let's get that out of the way and get back to the actual fight itself. But it kind of shows you all the stats and everything that you need to be paying attention to, obviously. All right, let's get back to it. So at some point here, I should have... There we go. Okay, so turn 6, I went back to Tsubaki. So we're going to kind of flip-flop back and forth a little bit and kind of spread that damage around. Because while Bell is going to take a decent amount of damage, you know, he's kind of where we want him now. He's now in the danger zone for us. Okay, now this sucks. Line dying was a huge problem for me. I really didn't want her to, and a lot of that stemmed down to Haruhime just RNG fail. She just didn't get her health buffed quickly enough. So on the best runs, Line wouldn't die. This is one that I would definitely rerun, but I'll talk about what happened at the end. This, if you do not have a run where nobody dies, this will screw up your S clear. But our triple SA here is really important because Haruhime is going to buff everybody 100%. You do not want to do this buff before the turn where you're doing all the other stuff, because the buff will go away at some point. If you do it now and you have her in front of Argonaut and Crosso, then they keep that strength buff when they're doing their SA. Okay? I apologize, the video is starting to run a little choppy here, but you get the concept. You've seen this attack 100 times or probably more, maybe 100 times this week. So the big thing here is turn 9. We are doing the triple SA. Triple SA is going to do more damage. The buff's not going to go away, and they're absolutely going to wreck everything that's going on here. Now, the preference would be to have had this on turn 8. If Line hadn't died, it totally would have been a thing. It would have been a safe bet. So, realistically, had I not had a run where nobody died already, this would have definitely been a rerun. But since I already had that, you're going to see here it's going to S clear in a moment. So if in this case, my Line dying didn't really affect me because I'd already ticked that off. I didn't realize that was a thing, but apparently it's a thing. If you've already ticked that off, you're good to go. So, yeah. Good stuff, though. Good stuff. Not the best run I've ever had, honestly, if I'm completely fair. But also, my Line is only +2, and my units are running at a little bit of a deficit. Had I planned a little further in advance, I probably could have done that. And realistically, if I really wanted to do this right, I would have then given Line, like the Glorious Armor or something like that, so that she could have survived this a little bit better. But you'll notice the quest was completed within 9 turns. Within 9 turns was the new one. This team did it, and it could have done it in 8, honestly. They could have easily done it in 8 had Line not died. Without losing a member. Now, this is kind of the funny one. And yes, I've been playing the game for a year and a half. I only this time around realized that once you check those off, they're good to go. So, I'd already had the run that I completed without losing any members, but unfortunately that one ran to turn 11. Just because I couldn't get him to die. I didn't have my stack quite right. So Line not dying would be really important to this, and honestly it's just an RNG fail. Haruhime could have saved her, she just didn't. So there's better ways to do it. And yes, the new Haruhime is good. The old one is way better. Because remember, Bell doesn't debuff you or anything like that. He removes your existing buffs. So being able to basically replace those is going to be really important. In my case, the main thing he does is remove strength buffs. So you notice we didn't even give a strength buff, at least not one that really mattered, until the very end when we just needed the damage output. That's my biggest recommendation. Build your SA gauge, do a triple, have Argonaut and Krazo do it, but also have Haruhime in front. And yes, in case you're wondering, the placement of your super attacks makes a huge, huge difference in the damage output. Had Haruhime not gotten hers first, they would not have had their 100% strength buff. So, little food for thought on that one. That's going to be the video, guys. Hopefully this helps you get this S cleared. I know this is going away tonight, and I've been promising this for a long time. I've been having some hardware issues with my phone, and had to find a workaround for it. So I apologize. This is once again late. Hopefully the next one won't be as late, because these were supposed to be out. Well, this was supposed to be out on Saturday, and the other one was supposed to be out on Sunday. So keep an eye out for the other one so that we can talk about how to get that one. But yeah, go get your go complete this. And if you're not familiar with why we're doing this, basically the long and the short of it is you're getting a free bond out of this. A free bond for a time-limited unit. It's, in essence, the equivalent of a star bond for nothing. So, this goes away tonight. You require 600 of the items. Now you know how to S-clear this level, but this team will auto the very hard level in minutes. I think it's like 5 turns. So, build a team, at least similar to this. Keep those thought processes in mind. You don't want to do a lot of buffs. You just want to do lots and lots and lots of attacks. And if you do buff, make sure the buffs that can't be removed. Case in point, that assist buff. That assist buff does not go away, so it's really, really, really key there. That's going to be the video, guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that old sub button and the notification icon to stay up to date with all this stuff. It's your old boy Pilk. I'll catch you tonight for the live stream. Yes, we are going to be doing the live stream tonight. Even if the phone is acting up, we are still just going to give it our best shot, because I miss you guys. I do.